The Badlands. What are the Badlands? Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Okay.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Daily Herald here on Badlands Media. I'm your host, Jon Herold. It is Friday the 13th. And not going to lie, I feel wholly unprepared for the show because I was expecting that bitch Kristi Noem to be going live and talking about election fraud, and telling us about all the stuff in Arizona. Because it was supposed to go live at like 30 minutes ago, and she still hasn't taken the stage. So I'm just sitting here like, okay, well, now what am I going to talk about? And Ashe is over on the other channel covering it, and we should just join streams somehow. But if there's one thing I've learned from movies, you're never supposed to cross the streams. So I don't know what to do. Election frogs. It's kind of what it feels like these days. That's probably what she's going to talk about. So my misspeaking is very fitting. I mean, there is some other things we could discuss, but it's been a really boring 24 hours. There hasn't been any like big breaking news or anything super exciting, unless you guys can think of something I missed. But it's ridiculous. This administration, you know, I was told growing up that timeliness is like next to godliness, or early is on time and on time is late and all those things. But apparently this administration does not live by those standards. So hope you guys are having a better Friday than I am. This is just so annoying. Ashe says, can we do that in terms of doing a show together? I don't know. I don't know how we would join. We'd have to be in the same StreamYard. I'm trying to figure this out. We'd have to I wonder if we can both join separate StreamYards. Man, I don't know. I wonder if I could also go live to... Sorry, guys, just bear with me while I'm trying to figure out back-end stuff. Ooh, I think we can. I think we could do this. Just might mess some stuff up. Well, let me call Ashe real quick. You guys just sit tight and maybe think of topics or things you want me to talk about. John, they've been trying to delete Trump and America First, so keep guessing. Hey, I think we can stream to both studio and your stream. So you would just have to join my StreamYard. We can just like shoot the shit for a while. You want to try it? No, I'm live right now. Everybody can hear you through the phone. So I haven't done anything yet. I think what I'm going to do is add that Rumble stream to my destinations like right now and see if it like takes over yours. Let me just see what happens. I'm going to try it. Oh, I might break something though. Tell everybody like we're going to try this. And then if it... And if that happens, they should just all come over to watch the Daily Herald, because we're going to wait until... Yeah, because then we'll cover... Oh, wait. Maybe that's a good idea. She says you should share my show on your screen. Wait, I'm so confused. We could leave that up, Ash, and then you join my stream. Maybe we wouldn't break anything then. Oh no, that wouldn't work. Okay, just come on my stream. We'll figure it out. If something breaks and you lose the stream, just hop over to the Daily Herald. We're gonna cover the Kristi Noem stuff. Yeah. And don't end that stream though. Just leave that StreamYard, and come in my StreamYard, but don't do anything else. Like, don't mess with anything. Don't end the stream. I don't know. Just leave. Goodbye. Okay, guys, we're gonna see what happens. Gonna see what happens. I'm nervous. Did it work? Did it work? Did it work? Come on. I just don't want to like lose everything over on. It's still showing. It is still showing Ashe's thing. Okay. Okay, what's up?
Hey.
Oh, wait, where are you? There you are.
Did it work?
Not yet. You sound very quiet. I don't know if that's just me.
Is this better?
That's much better. It did not work, but I think what I'm going to do is go here. Were you in Badlands StreamYard for that?
Do you see what can? Yes. I was in Badlands StreamYard for that.
Okay, because maybe I don't know if we end the stream and then quick
Rate
it up here, will it? I don't know. This is just nerve-wracking.
Here, CannCon said, we're still live while these two knuckleheads work this out. They've never seen Ghostbusters, never cross streams.
That's literally what I said here. He must be watching me.
Oh, is that what you said?
That's what I said.
I wasn't
Okay.
watching either of you. I was hanging out with the chat, talking to the chat. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. I'm going to try and do this. I'm going to go into the Badlands
Oh, it
studio.
looks like there's now 3 people in the shot of this press conference.
Oh my gosh.
No action yet. Just we have live humans apparently.
Okay, I'm just going to end the stream here.
The Badlands one?
Yep.
Should I
And
just
then-
rate those people over here?
Yeah, you can do that. But I'm also going to pick that stream right back up. So it might work. Hopefully. Okay. Let's see what happens. Oh, we're good. We're good now.
Yay.
We're over there, even though you just rated it over here. Amen. Awesome. Okay. Do you want to pull up the Kristi Noem thing on this side of things? Well, welcome everybody. Jessica, we got it sorted out. We're good now. I told people right when I started the show that I was really upset because I felt wholly unprepared because, and I quote, that bitch Kristi Noem did not start on time.
Yeah.
And it's really frustrating how this administration never starts on time. It totally throws off her schedule. But do you think this is a rug, Ash?
I think it's possible. So there is Andrew Barnett, who's in Arizona, former congressional candidate, said that the DHS is in the election center. They're not calling it a raid, but here they are. I think that's a rug. It seems like they're there to do a press conference. They have the SAVE Act and voter ID stuff on those back posters. They just passed the SAVE Act in the House. They're trying to pressure the Senate into doing it. So this could just be that.
Yeah.
Why they're doing that in Arizona is weird. And of course, we had Jon Salmon yesterday talking about there being a Georgia-like event in Arizona. So maybe there is some sort of raid. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
You know, I wonder about that because we learned there was going to be this press conference from that Liz Landon, maybe on Twitter. I wonder if Jon Salmon said it because, like, in the post, she's like, it's going to be about election security. And is that what Jon Salmon is getting these news from, or did he actually have some sort of inside source? But the interesting part of it is the DHS, like, their only connection to election integrity or security at all is through CISA. And that intrigues me because CISA is awful, and their role in the 2020 election, this is the most secure election we've ever seen. So this would have to be something on the technical side, like cybersecurity side, for DHS to be doing anything. And then you see those boards that were behind, like that didn't seem like this is how many things we caught. It's like past the Save Act and stuff, wasn't it?
Agreed. Yeah, the poster boards that they put up seem like it is this is a marketing event for the Save Act. I'm looking to see what John Solomon exactly said, because I thought he was talking about his own sources, but I might have just assumed.
Maybe. I can pull up the clip.
Yeah, I have it.
Oh, you do? Okay, we'll pull it up. Oh, there she is.
Oh, she's coming out. So yeah,
she's just in there.
Go back, to
there.
that.
Does your internet be any slower? What'd you break?
I don't know why I don't have sound. There we go. They didn't have sound. It's not me.
I still don't have sound.
No.
What are you watching this on? Here, I'll
take it
over. I got it.
Okay. All right.
Today to spend some time with some of your elected officials, some of those that are involved in election security here, and local leaders to discuss what we can do to make sure that we have integrity in our election systems going forward. I want to thank some of them that came today. Justin Heap is here. He's the recorder of Maricopa County. I want to thank him for sharing some wisdom with me on what we can do to partner together. Also, State Representative John Gillette of the 30th District is here too. And I want to thank him for all of the information that he shared with me. Jennifer Wright is the former Assistant Arizona Attorney General for the Elections Unit, and she's here as well and shared her wisdom and work over the years to make sure that when people go to vote in an election, that they can trust that that vote counted and that they had the chance to cast their support behind the candidate that they wanted to. You know, at the end of the Constitutional Convention in 1787, Benjamin Franklin was asked out on the street by a woman what kind of a government that we would have. And he replied to her, "A republic, ma'am, if you can keep it." And that's what our job is. For 250 years, it's been our American duty to maintain our republic and to make sure that our elections are secure. Republics depend on the confidence of their citizens, that when they vote, that their vote matters, that it counts. And our elections are essential to make sure that that confidence stays there, that they know and trust that the system is fair. Since returning to office, President Trump has made election integrity a priority. He's made it a cornerstone of his Make America Great Again agenda. And the truth is that our election system needs a lot of work. From state to state throughout the country, we see challenges and things that can be improved on. And although the Constitution gives states the primary responsibility for running their elections, Congress also gives authorities and duties to the federal government. Now, as the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, those authorities lie within my department, and the responsibility lies with me. I have the responsibility of not just pointing out different vulnerabilities that we may see in our election systems, but also with making sure that we're putting forward mitigation measures that can be enacted at the state and local level to make sure that our elections are run correctly, that the votes are counted and tabulated, and that the people that were elected are put into those positions. As President Trump said, we will either fix our nation's election issues or we will no longer have a nation to save. Right now, America has a golden opportunity, a wonderful opportunity to show that we are serious about securing our elections and that we care about making sure that we preserve our sacred republic. Earlier this week, the House of Representatives passed the SAVE Act. This is federal legislation that does some common sense, straightforward things. First of all, it requires a photo ID in order to vote in federal elections. It also requires proof of citizenship in order to register to vote. And it requires states to remove non-citizens from their voter rolls. These measures are extremely popular with American citizens. American people have common sense, and they want to see reforms like this put into their elections. In fact, a Gallup poll was recently released that shows 84% of Americans support a photo ID when they go to vote, that 83% support proving your citizenship when you go to register to vote. A Pew Research poll showed that 95% of Republicans.
Okay, well, she goes through these facts here. Ashe, this appears to be a rug.
Does?
Like a juicy shag rug.
That's what that's what it appears to be. They're selling the SAVE Act.
This is so gay.
Why Arizona? Why hype up Arizona? Why does it need to be Arizona? Is it like Kristi Noem had a meeting with the recorder in Maricopa, and that was so they did a really vague something's going to happen press conference. I think if there was news, they would have led with it. No,
I would imagine. Like,
Yeah.
why would you come out and be like, we need to pass the SAVE Act? Oh, and also, here's the thing everybody actually tuned in to watch. It's the election integrity stuff. Like, we actually found fraud. And it's so weird because every indication from everybody, including like people that, we don't have sources, but, you have people that are connected to things. They're like, yeah, Arizona's like, keep your eye on Arizona. That's going to be next after Georgia.
Yep.
And so what is she doing? If that's true still, this is a weird way to like grift off of that,
It is. This is not a Georgia-like event. In Georgia, they raided Fulton County and took all of the records.
Yeah.
This is marketing, right? Which is kind of what we thought it would be. But I do think someone in the chat said this feels like grandstanding to me. This feels like they're trying to sell a piece of legislation. So what we're saying is, listen, we know that illegals have been voting in our elections. She's giving specific examples, right? One in Kansas just voted. We know that illegals have been voting in our elections. The people that manage the voter rolls probably know that too. You know what we need to do? We need to convince them to pass this legislation so that they'll stop stealing elections.
So ridiculous.
I don't think that's going to happen.
We'll listen to the rest of it just so people don't get upset, but unbelievable. I mean, not really, though. Everything's a rug. It's always been a rug.
Somehow hurt American voters. That's just absurd and absolutely not true. One of the claims that they have made in criticizing this bill is that they say that newly married women would be disenfranchised because they've had a name change.
Because she is just talking about the bill. Why? So reasons she would be in Arizona, the things we've thought about of why she would have been in Arizona. Run back election services. It's based in Arizona and does ballot on demand printing and has been involved in every election, kind of malfeasance issue in that state since 2020, at least. The 2022 drawer 3 debacle, all of the stuff that came out in court under oath in Carrie Lake's trials, right? We don't do signature verification. So it doesn't matter if you only allow Americans to register to vote, if you still do mail-in balloting and there's no signature verification, because who's going to check all of that? There's a whole bunch of things that we could be talking about of Arizona, but instead it seems someone in the chat said we could have done this in Washington, D.C. As of right now, yes. That's
a great point. I mean, this is a huge waste of tax dollars to have to fly to Arizona with their security detail and all these other things just to do a press conference about the SAVE Act.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. But we'll listen to more. Maybe there's something at the end here.
Illegal aliens to vote in our elections. They want to disenfranchise American citizens by telling them that their votes don't matter. There's only one reason that anyone would oppose this bill, and that's because they would want to cheat. They want illegal people and aliens in this country to be able to vote for them and to rob the United States citizens of their vote. And that's why they resist us at every single level when we're trying to deport people back to their home countries or stop them from committing crimes against the American people. That's why they do not support voter ID, proof of U.S. citizenship, or clean voter rolls. That's why the Save America Act is absolutely critical to our country's future. Because without secure elections, we lose what makes our country so great. And then when we lose that, we lose our country altogether. Almost 200 years ago in 1833, a Supreme Court Justice Joseph Story warned us with this. And he warned us this about illegal entry into our country. If aliens might be admitted indiscriminately to enjoy all of the rights of citizens at the will of a single state, the Union itself might be endangered by an influx of foreigners, hostile to its institutions, ignorant of its powers, and incapable of a due estimate of its privileges. There is no room in our election system for people that aren't Americans. There is no room in our election system for fraudsters and foreign influence. The Declaration of Independence said this simple, self-evident truth, that governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed. Fair and secure elections are how we measure the consent of the governed, and they ensure that our American citizens' voices are heard. Our founders, at the time of the creation of this country, pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor to defend our freedoms. In fact,
I can't do it. I'll keep an eye on the closed captioning or whatever, and if she starts talking about anything interesting,
it's a history lesson.
It is. And for the chat, like, well, she's doing it for for the normies. Nobody is watching this. The only people watching this are the people that are waiting for some sort of election disclosure.
Yeah, and it's a little too boring to even be clippable.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to go back and talk about the founding of the country and Benjamin Franklin. How about we talk about the Civil War and when the entire nation got inverted and became a major democracy? No, we're going to keep going back to the ideals of the founding, even though they haven't been in effect since the 1860s.
And again, it's such a grift. Like this is why I harp on the administration so much. Trump himself, I think, is operating on a different level. And I think there are some people in his administration that are working with him. But then you have all these social media influencers who do social media things. And this feels like one of those things. She's like, everybody's all hot and bothered about Fulton County. Everybody's wanting election integrity. I'm going to set up an election integrity press conference in Arizona.
Yeah.
And this is what we get.
I'm going to set up an election integrity press conference in Arizona to sell a piece of legislation that I think it's a good piece of legislation. I think you should be a citizen to. I think it's retarded. It's not already a thing, right?
She's taking questions now, so let's maybe this is where I get juicy.
Fraud happening in Arizona. Do you worry that emphasizing election security threats without evidence could undermine public confidence?
I love that question.
Doesn't further any misinformation.
we have a SAVE program that is available to the state of Arizona that the state of Arizona could ensure through their Secretary of State that every county has access to, and allow them to go back in and verify those individuals that are on the voter rolls today to make sure they should be voting in the elections that come forward. That's what I would encourage the Secretary of State to do, and I'll be sending out mitigation measures that can help build a promise back into that system to maintain the critical infrastructure that is our elections.
Secretary, are you still in charge of the mass deportation campaign, or is
I'm still in charge of the Department of Homeland Security. That includes all 23 different agencies under our umbrella, including ICE and CBP, but also FEMA, TSA, Secret Service, the Coast Guard, many, many more.
Secretary Noem?
Yes, over here.
Secretary, America has recently posted a video regarding the DOJ wanting more information on Arizona voters. What are your thoughts on this?
I think that that would be a wonderful opportunity for him to be transparent and to ensure and promise the people of Arizona that they can trust their elections, and that when they show up on election day, they'll get to vote without problems or hassles, that they'll be prepared to make sure that vote counts and that the correct results are announced.
Who's in charge of feedback?
I'll come to you next.
You offered a couple of examples from
Jeez.
Maryland and Iowa and such. Can you offer us any good examples of this kind of fraud in Arizona?
Oh, I'm sure there's many of them, but we want to make sure that we talked about several of them this morning at our roundtable that we had. We talked about individuals that may be registered to vote in this state, but truly live in another state. I understand that you have mobile homes and boats on lakes that individuals may have as their voter registration address, but not necessarily that is where they live. They live in another state, such as California or on the East Coast. Those kind of situations are things that your county officials should be bringing forward and be asking your Secretary of State for the opportunity to take off the voter rolls if they shouldn't be there.
Secretary,
Yeah, oh, right here, sorry.
Oh my gosh.
It's really bad.
Your agency is about to run out of funds.
Sabotage.
Last week at the border, and obviously you bust all of us to a secure facility, and I'm curious as to why choose to do this press conference this way on something that doesn't seem top secret.
Oh my goodness, this is our critical infrastructure. So one of the things I think is good for all of you to know is that the Department of Homeland Security's mission is to defend the homeland, which means that even on our worst day, should we have an attack, a terrorist threat, if something disastrous happened to our country, the agency of FEMA under the Department of Homeland Security is responsible for running our government. which means that according to law, the authorities that are under this department is maintaining our critical infrastructure, which means it's my job to make sure that our electrical grid is sustained and intact and operational, that we ensure that we protect our cybersecurity, any kind of manipulation or threats we face on anything that is said or done on the internet is my responsibility. Our water systems, making sure that people have the water that they need for their communities to live and take care of their families. And elections is another one of those critical infrastructure responsibilities that I have as well. And I would say that many people believe that it may be one of the most important things that we need to make sure we trust is reliable, and that when it gets to election day that we've been proactive to make sure that we have the right people voting, electing the right leaders to lead this country through the days that we have, knowing that people can trust it. That's why you're here. For me, I do press conferences because I want to be transparent and let you ask questions and have conversations. But I hope that you do recognize that in the past, your state has been an absolute disaster on elections, that your leaders have failed you dramatically by not having systems that work, by disenfranchising Americans who wanted to vote, that had to stand in lines for hours because machines failed or software failed. There's no state that could use more improvement than Arizona. And you should be asking all of your leaders what they're doing to fix the system. What are they doing
She got that so
to make
wrong.
sure that individuals in this state can trust that their vote is going to be taken, that it's going to be counted, and that it's going to matter to make sure the right people are in charge. Yes. Right over here?
Ah.
Yes.
Is it her earrings doing that?
Maybe she. Someone said she's got an illegal microphone. Maybe. Like a secondary one.
She got all that FEMA stuff
Tribal
wrong.
IDs are
FEMA doesn't run the
recognized.
government in the
Tribal
case of
IDs?
disaster.
FEMA's not the head of devolution.
No. That's what Executive Order 13961.
That's
I mean, it
what
was
you
partially
think.
revoked.
There's
been waiting
many
on that.
different
We'll
options
talk
that can
about
be
that.
used. Now, remember, the SAVE Act only says that you need to prove your citizenship when you register to vote. It does not say that you have to prove your citizenship and able to go and vote. When you go vote on that day, you need to have a photo ID. And many times in Arizona here, you do have that requirement on your voter rolls. However, I understand that you need to go back and clean up your voter rolls. We have a program through the Department of Homeland Security that's called the SAVE program that your Secretary of State and your governor can use today to clean up voters on your rolls that shouldn't be there. Maybe people who've passed away, people.
Do you guys actually want to continue listening to this? If you do, press 1 in the chat. If you don't, press 2. But I'll play it until we get an answer. 1 for continue, 2 for let's stop getting our eardrums blown out.
Someone else didn't get to weigh in on their leadership. Yes, last one.
Regarding the El Paso airspace closure, confirm that CBP actually hit a party balloon that thought was a drone with a laser early this week, as was reported, and if that is true, why wasn't the action coordinated with the FAA?
You know, this was a joint agency task force mission that was undertaken, and we're continuing to work on the communication through that, but recognize we're grateful for the partnership of the Department of War and the FAA as we go forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Oh, thank God.
It was rough. Going right in the ear.
Unbelievable. No, but what I was saying, you know, she talked about FEMA's and it's our job to run the government if there's a disaster or whatever. That's not even true. That's what Executive Order 13961 changed. And even before that, I think what it changed was not that. That's a common misconception. But we're still waiting on the new national security or national resilience strategy from Marco Rubio, which is approaching, like, I think it's March 25th will be 1 year since that executive order telling him to do the new national resilience strategy was issued. It was supposed to be done in like 90 days. That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. So a bunch of people asked us in the chat, what would we ask if we were there? I would ask, what about accountability we're here in Maricopa. You sat at a round table today with a bunch of leaders from this area. What did you learn, and what does that mean for accountability? Because we cannot have real elections until we're honest about the fake ones. And there is accountability for the people that stole the power of government from us. And by us, I mean the American people. It's not about a party, because both parties participated. This is basic stuff. And I have a feeling with the SAVE Act and the kind of the message, the narrative deployment around it, and this, marketing style press conference, that what they're trying to do, and it's kind of a similar thing with the whole Venezuelan CIA rewrite, they're trying to give us enough so that we'll say, okay, well, at least we've identified these problems now, and I trust that you guys are going to fix them, so we can believe in elections now. You know, President Trump's president, so that must mean that elections are real, and so we can totally trust elections now. I think that's bullshit. I think that is the government protecting itself again and trying to hide what they've done. We're saying that, you know, the Venezuelan election systems have been stealing elections in 72 countries around the world. That means the CIA has been stealing elections or rigging in some way elections in 72 countries around the world. We are not going to have real elections until we are honest about that and there's accountability for it. And it's this kind of stuff. I was thinking while she was talking, I'm like, okay, so new rule. When Tulsi shows up, we should pay attention. If it's this lady, it's a rug.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree with that. This was so dumb. I would have asked if I was there, like, why couldn't you have just sent this in an email? Like, this is
right.
so, this is nothing new. But you're trying to get us to pass legislation. This is clickbait. It was a rug.
Yeah.
And we fell for it again. And
again.
Should have known. I mean, to be fair, there are a lot of people like it's probably going to be a rug. But my indicator was John Solomon. Like you said, he's the one who said we're going to have a Georgia type event down in Arizona. And so why would he do that? Did they have something planned and then they like changed course last minute and we're just like, hey, go out there.
Maybe they still will, right? Maybe they're going to raid it this afternoon.
Yeah. I mean, we have to get that at some point.
Morning in Arizona. So
yeah. We'll have to get it at some point. But it wasn't this time.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because next time she makes an announcement, everybody's gonna be like, okay, this again. Yeah.
Yeah. Like next time she's the boy who cried election justice.
Yeah. So
a really pretty girl who cried election justice.
Yeah. Bravis says he was really not on this rug. And I think I said yesterday, it's like it could be a rug, guys. Prepare yourselves. It's just interesting. At some point, we have to get Arizona. We have to. Like there's no way we won't. All the shenanigans that went on there. If Trump is going to go through with fixing our election system and exposing it, Arizona is on the list. Like it's part of the order of operations, but maybe we're just not there yet.
Yeah. I mean, so this is, it's frustrating because, you know, and expecting the backlash, but it's frustrating because we have the midterms coming up, right? And we have not seen anything that restores our trust in elections prior to the midterms. And this is more of that. Nothing that restores our trust in elections. So why should we participate? And Brian and I will talk about some of this. This is just a teaser for why we vote tonight. But there is also in parallel with this SAVE Act thing, and I talked about this with Burning Bright on the Blitz. This we recorded for tomorrow morning, so everybody make sure that you tune into the Blitz tomorrow. Badlands.substack.com. It's only on Substack, that show, and it's a lot of fun. But the SAVE Act push is happening in parallel with the lawsuits to get the voting records from the various states.
Oh yeah, yep.
And that I think is really interesting because one of the governor candidates here knows that elections are fake, right? I asked him
in
about
Colorado.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's Scott Bottoms, the one who went, did the news about there being pedophile rings in the governor's office and whatnot. And it's a whole scene here. But on Saturday, I asked him, so, fake, like, you sound great. Love everything you're talking about. Think it's a great platform. Would love to see it come to life in Colorado, but elections are fake. So what do we do about the fact that elections are fake? And he's like, yeah, no, I get it. But, governor candidate Scott Bottoms can't do anything about elections being fake, but I'll tell you, I know they're fake. And what I'm encouraged by is the level of scrutiny on it. So we have not had since 2020, we have not had people that also believe that there are problems with elections scrutinizing an election, people in positions of power. That's new in this election season versus the ones that we've had since 2020. We have not had a election denier friendly government apparatus watching an election with authority to do something about it. So that's one. The second thing is that the voter rolls I think it was Doomer you were called for this one this week for saying that the SAVE Act isn't going to save us. Yeah. And that's true. And we've said that, I've been saying that since they launched it in 2024. They passed this thing already once, right, in April, and it's in April 2025. So this is a long journey with this SAVE Act thing. But I actually think the SAVE Act is kind of irrelevant. I think the lawsuits are the things, because if they get the voter records and they have all of these different government data sets, remember, you hate Doge, but Doge has data, right? Doge has done an analysis of data. I think there's tooling still in place, but even if there's not, they did an analysis of data, Social Security, benefits programs, all of the various government databases of identifiable information. So if they get the voting records from the states, and I don't even know why this is hard or why they have to sue, because they sell these things. They sell them to people in third parties, right? These
Palantir. Yeah.
Yeah. But if they get these data sets for the voter registration and they're able to reconcile them against the others, so they're able to find the 8 to 11% of fake voters in every state. I personally think it's 8 to 11%. That's what we found when we canvassed, right? And that's seems like a pretty consistent range. If they find that, they know who these people are, then they are watching the midterms. And they're able to do so. You have people in positions of power watching this time that are able to do something about it. Bernie Bright and I talked this morning about there needs to be a catalyzing event for people to get to for the masses to get to elections are fake. For us to fix it, like I believe this with the core of my being, we cannot have real elections until we are honest about how fake they are, and there is accountability for what was done, because there should be no public trust until that happens. Nobody should trust them ever again until there is truth and reconciliation for this horrible thing that's happened over the past 25 years. And if we're going to get the people there to where that can be a reality, there has to be a catalyzing event. I hate everything about this. I hate having to even talk about this being the solution. But to his credit, CannCon said this like 18 months ago. There's going to have to be another stolen election to catalyze the masses, but it has to be really obvious. It's going to have to be obvious, provable, and people in positions of power to do something about it in the aftermath of it. We haven't had that since 2020.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot there, because I agree with it to a degree. I've been saying, we're going to have to go through another stolen election. It's either they fix the election fraud now, or we go through another stolen election. I was saying that back in the 2022 midterms. Like, it doesn't make sense that Trump would allow it if he has the stuff. If they have the evidence, let's get it over with. The catalyzing event thing, I mean, I understand the thought process behind it. Do you really think there are people in this country that actually believe our elections are legitimate?
Yes.
I feel like it's one of the unspoken things where everybody kind of know, like after 2020, everybody knew that it was obviously fraudulent. Like even people in, there's a guy I've been kind of talking to up in Seattle, and he's like, everybody here knows elections are fake. Like everybody knows. Everybody talks to, doesn't matter political ideology. Like they don't care. There's nothing they can do. If they start speaking up about it, you get canceled and you don't get to participate in the social incentives, and that's kind of how it is. It's broad spectrum. So I think it's less catalyzing event and more what is going to make it socially acceptable. And maybe that is what the catalyzing event is, like some big exposure is like, okay, well now at least we can all talk about how fraudulent elections are because something exposes it. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, if we have to sit through another stolen election, I think people's heads are going to fall off. Like people are going to lose their mind.
Our heads are fall off.
I feel like we're prepared for it though.
Yeah. So I do believe that there are people that think elections are legitimate. I think there's a significant amount of them. And I think it's because they're uninformed about everything, right? They're not engaged in the news cycle. They don't watch anybody's news. They don't watch the evening news. They're uninformed people, and they vote. Yeah, but they vote. They all vote. And I think that, so the thing about the elections is that every time we have an election, and we've had 5 of them, if you include 2020, we've had 6. Because every November there is an election, not a federal election, that's every 2 years, but every single year there is an election that takes place. And every single year they are manipulated, and there are problems, and there are races that take too long to count. And there are people that end up, the outcome gets flipped, and new people get in at local levels, right? Commissioners and school boards and things. These things are happening more since 2020. And I just, my intimate frame of reference is Colorado. And I know, people drink when I say Colorado, but whatever. Oh, CannCon should come in here.
Yeah, CannCon, hop in the stream, bro.
CannCon, come jump in with us. Every time more people realize that elections are stolen. Now, does that matter? I think it does. I think that I don't think that we need to wake up the normies about every issue, but I do think it matters that people whether or not people believe in elections, because the whole thing is held together with that trust. And I was telling you, I think I told you, I think it was you I was telling. I attended this event. It was a Stuart Rhodes Patriot Roundup event back in 2022. And I got into an argument there with this woman who was really upset that I was telling people that joining the Republican Party was stupid. This is back when they were trying to do the precinct project, right? And get all of the people in all of the seats, which if we're doing parties, and we're still trying to make parties a thing, then the precinct strategy, you need to do that. You need to take the power in it if we're going to keep it a thing. But I don't think we should have them, right? So that was the message I was forwarding at the time. This woman got really, really mad at me. Like, you're just stupid. You're going to impact our chances. You're going to sink the party. And I'm like, but the party's been on decline for 15 years. It's going like this. Like, you don't have credibility to be able. She came up to me on Saturday and she's like, I don't know if you remember that we were arguing back in 2022. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember. I get it now. I just want to tell you, I'm sorry. I get it now. Like these are things, anecdotal, right? A random super Republican lady, but it is happening. I don't think it matters if we wake up the normies about Israel or Venezuela or, whatever, even waste, fraud, and abuse. The one area where I think it really matters, the public mind, and that people's reality is righted, is in elections.
I mean, I think it's the number one issue. I don't know if people care about it more than like their wallet and stuff, but CannCon.
Yep.
You watched that, obviously. What'd you think of that rug?
Did you guys catch the question?
Which one?
The one about the secure location?
Just tell us.
I thought that was interesting. It was hard to hear, but fortunately I heard it. One of the questions was, why did you have to conduct this at a secure location and bus us all over here? So that was interesting. They're not doing this like at a press conference where people are parking out and walking in with their own gear and everything else like that. It reminded me of the pit, remember when they bust us all in and all that? I thought that was kind of interesting.
That is weird. Because that definitely, that it could have been done from Washington. It could have been an email. Like the whole thing felt pointless to me. It almost felt like a intentional rug,
But the fact that they're doing it somewhere in a secure location, and they said this isn't top secret, so why are we here? That was very interesting. And again, this could have been done from anywhere. DHS is about to run out of their budget, and here you are doing it in Maricopa County.
So it makes me think that they had a plan to like talk about something more seriously or more serious, but then last minute we're like, okay, let's just do Save Act,
I don't think so. I think that was supposed to be the tip off right there. Like that was supposed to be the thing that kind of alludes to, hey, something else is going on. This is just the kabuki theater that you get to see. Like this is what's out in front. They had an emergency Maricopa County Board of Supervisors executive session yesterday. So I think there is something going on there.
Are you saying that they were not for that press conference? They were not at the Maricopa Election Center? Because Josh Barnett posted today that DHS officials were at the Maricopa Election Center.
The question.
Yeah, I said that right.
The question was, so when you're running out of money and everything else is going on, why did you feel you needed to bring us to a secure location and bus us all in? So unless they bust them into the MetTech Center, I don't know.
Maybe they're raiding the elections office right now and they don't want any of those press people watching and whatnot. That'd be fun. We should hear about that soon, I would think, though.
But I don't think it would be DHS that would be doing the raid.
It would be Tulsi. Be DHS that's distracting from the raid and doing this Save Act press conference, Patriot Barbie and then Patriot Badass Tulsi is over there raiding the office. I like that hopium. Now I'm back on that rug.
Don't get on the rug.
Be the FBI or the DNI that would be doing it. I originally had thought that it was DNI because I saw election security. So when I texted you guys that the other day, I was like, oh, Gabbard's going to be on the ground in Maricopa. And then I called, a friend of mine to ask him about it. And he said, no, it's going to be Noem. And so I was kind of blown by. I was talking to John this morning, and I was like, the only thing Noem would have to do with this is ICE and CISA, and we got neither of those two things. So,
And FEMA, because FEMA runs the government in an emergency.
That's so stupid. I can't believe she said that. She
I
got it
always
wrong.
said that to trigger
Hang
you.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing any news. You'd think if they were raiding, somebody would be
I
like,
was just looking for that.
I don't see anything out here.
Stephen Richard did post on X that they deleted all the evidence, like 2020 ballots are gone. You know, I mean, there might be some, archive. Remember, that was the excuse they gave for the missing files. Oh, we archived them. So there might be some archives of files, but the physical evidence is long gone in Maricopa. They had litigation, and as soon as that litigation was over, they had a huge bonfire.
Unbelievable. Yeah, there's nothing on social media. So dumb. Frustrating, but it is what it is. Anything else, you guys? Any big news or anything else you want to talk about? Otherwise, I can probably just wrap up my show here shortly.
That's all I've got.
Yeah, here is what it is. Josh Barnett said, this is 2 hours ago. I could not be happier right now. DHS just entered Maricopa Election Center at DNI Gabbard. I was told it's not a raid, but there they are. I was just told that it's not a raid, but DHS is there. Now, you're saying that press conference was not at the election center, right?
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying it's at a secure facility. I don't know the way they addressed it. That's the term they use, secure facility, not the election center, which I don't think is a secure facility. I mean, it's secure, but it's not like a top secret that you would.
What was her answer?
Let me see if I could find it real quick.
That is interesting.
Let me go back and listen to the. God, I cannot believe the feedback.
Yeah.
That press conference is so bad.
Did you have that, Brian?
No, it wasn't too bad.
Audio?
It wasn't too bad.
And you said she said that was the first question she got?
No, it was like the second or third.
The chat is all trying to decide if they're on the rug or off the rug.
Listen now.
One foot on the Brian rug. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, chat. I'm looking for the question here too.
I will engage with chat while you guys find the clip.
Okay.
So Bravis has a foot on the Brian rug. Grumpy Drone says, one idea, Noem was going to drop a bomb unless the Gobernaut played ball. If not, announcement of fake 2022. So that's interesting. So maybe this was a pressure tactic and they got whomever to bend the knee as a result of the threat of the press conference. So then they didn't actually have to have the press conference because they got what they needed. That's interesting. That's a Persian rug though. I mean, that's like intricately woven.
Hold on, I think I found it.
Share your screen.
I am. I got to turn it way up because it's hard to hear.
The officials should be bringing forward and be asking your Secretary of State for the opportunity to take off the voter rolls if they shouldn't be there. Yeah, oh, right here. Sorry.
Why choose to do this press conference this way? Your agency is about to run out of funding. We're just here in the last week of the quarter, and obviously you bust all of us to a secure facility. And I'm curious as to why choose to do this press conference this way on something that doesn't seem top secret.
So very interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, why, you're running out of money. Why did you choose to bus us all to this secure facility for something that doesn't seem top secret?
They wanted everybody to think they were going to do a Georgia type event.
Or do they just want to lay the idea that they're at this event? Because she was calling on like another person, and then she's like, no, you. Like, was that a setup question to get that specific detail into the public that they're bussing them in? That's the weird part, bussing them in.
So weird. What a waste of time.
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
I don't get it.
I don't get that.
Anyway.
They're That was what
Plus
that was
the
what
voters
broke them up in the campaign for 2020, and then they came back together and united on temporary protective status for criminal invaders. But what originally broke them up was her issue with his support of busing because she was a child that was bused.
Oh, that's right.
But if I have to explain a joke, it's probably not a good one.
Yeah. That's okay. There's no such thing as a bad joke. Guys, are you gonna be on OnlyLens tonight? Ashe, you're not.
I'm not.
Correct?
I probably won't. Well, if Ashe isn't there, that means I can be there. So
Fuck that.
I'm just kidding. I was listening to you guys trying to figure out how to cross your streams.
Yeah, that was,
You
that was
made a
bad.
Ghostbusters joke.
It was a Ghostbusters joke.
That was a good one. It didn't have to be explained at all.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I made that joke first, though. By the way,
Oh, did you? I didn't
Yeah.
hear that. I wasn't listening to you.
that's okay. Good joke can be shared. Okay, I'm gonna get you guys out of here so I can have alone time with my audience for a little bit, and then
Ooh.
we'll
Stay
see you guys
appropriate.
tonight on OnlyLens, or one
Oh.
of you tonight.
All right. See you later.
Bye, guys.
Well, there you have it, guys. What man, just so dumb. So dumb. I don't even know where to go from here for the rest of the show. It's already 12:52. I don't think there was any like major news. I can just show the headlines that I had prepared, I guess. Inflation's down or cooled, they say. Annual inflation cooled to 2.4% in January, 8-month low. Partial government shutdown is on the way. I think the Senate like took off too. Yeah, they departed Washington. No DHS funding bill. So yeah, that's definitely gonna happen. Trump is gonna unveil a new Gaza reconstruction fund. Yesterday, they finally did the stop start thing. They revoked it, or out of all new cars. And I had a post back in December. I was like, if Trump actually gets rid of the auto start feature, I would be in favor of him, like all 4 faces of Mount Rushmore being replaced with Trump for that alone. We also got, let's see here. Trump judge orders the administration to return Venezuelan man deported under the Alien Enemies Act. Yeah, nothing else really matters. So anything you guys want me to talk about or have to say for me? Otherwise, I'm probably gonna what's the Doge website updated? It was not, unfortunately. But thank you for the $100, Babbage. I appreciate that. Keith O'Hagan says, John, Kristi Noem is dressed like a real estate agent today. Maybe she is stopping for a new gravel pit sites for the prostitute puppies. Yeah, they don't talk about her shooting dogs anymore. Can't let them forget. And then Keith O'Higgins again says, it's time for a Badlands election laundering rugs with the printed phrase, guys, don't forget to wash under your PCAPs. That's clever. I like that. Blah, 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 happening, blah, blah, blah. Made it back from Salt Mine to finish out the show. Yeah, welcome, guys. Some House of Representatives were doing a hearing in Arizona today. Is active cylinder deactivation going away? That's another engine killer. CC says she already asked like 12 hard-hitting questions earlier, and I addressed none of them. Well, I apologize. Now I'm just out of time. Americans voted for mass deportations, and we get to observe Japanese live out our dreams doing bounty hunts for illegals' Pokemon lifestyle. Is that true? Yeah, I've been having some interesting conversations with, like I said earlier, this guy from Seattle. I'm not going to say who it is. He's wishing to remain anonymous, but he's offering me a different perspective on the immigration situation, and I think he has me convinced. I need to talk to him a little bit more and like do a little more research on it. But you know, I think we're misunderstanding what Trump is doing with the immigration, like by only going for the bad ones, the bad eggs, which is great, and not just like rope them all up and get them all out of here like everybody wants. I think there's a method to the madness, and I think we're missing. There's a missing perspective that we'll maybe talk about next week. CC. curious what. Wait, what? People are getting 50,000 yen per illegal? Pravis, what are you basing that on? What do you mean? Stormrider 222, false advertisement. You guys completely cut off Noem. See ya. She didn't say anything new. Yeah, I guess I don't care. Johnny, you need weed, kid? I don't need anything. Flying Storm, just the news. John Solomon on Thursday reported that he believes there will be another Georgia-like event in Arizona, like what happened in Fulton County, Maricopa County. Yeah, that did not happen. Check out the article on Gateway about Maricopa. Let me look. Gateway Pundit. Well, it says rumors spreading. There are rumors that Maricopa County will soon be next. Yeah, so that's all based on John Solomon's reporting. Look, hey, Stormers arrives there. That's cool. I mean, there's no that's not saying it's actually being rated. Sorry. Well, all right, guys. I am going to get out of here, though. I have a phone call at the top of the hour that I got to be on. It's about a potential new Badlands venture. You're going to love it if we end up pulling this off. But yeah, make sure you guys join tonight. Only Land should be a good time. Get yourself some soft disclosure. The beard brush. These things are amazing. And the beard oil, guys. You can put it anywhere on your skin. We're starting to get some people who are doing it for that purposes, like females that are getting the beard oil and rubbing it on their skin. And like, this is not medical advice. And go listen to Ashe's show too. She had a comment, or maybe it was the beginning of this Noem stream. She had a comment from somebody who's like, I've been doing it on my skin for a couple of weeks now and I've never looked younger. So not medical advice. Don't knock it till you try it. But as I've been saying, I've been doing it every single day, all over my skin, not just my beard. It's amazing. badlandsmedia.tv/softdisclosure.com. And promo code NAKED gets you 15% off the site till midnight tonight. So escape the matrix. I'll be taking my mushroom vibes for Onlylands. I would do the same. The Boar Brussels beard brush. Bad floors, bad tabletops. No, something different. Yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I will be looking forward to seeing you guys tonight on Onlylands. And with that, I'm going to get you out of here. If Ghost is live right now, we'll go raid his stream. Otherwise, see you tonight.
0. 1. Extra, read all about it. 2. 3. Let's get started.
That's what she said.
Oh, that's real good.
Why they stopping me?